I'm dressed. If I get the 4th and 6th pick, I think I can fucking create a fucking new monster.
Paint, you can look year to year at what can happen to your team. All right. Your team was a powerhouse last year. Right now, it's not. You look at my team, semifinals last year. Nothing this year. Not coming close. Not coming close.
What's up?
Who are you talking to?
Okay. I didn't see you leave. Yeah, I'll be up there. Let me check that. You got it. It's my nephew lurking.
Word.
Yeah, my drive up here. There's this car stopped in the middle. I'm like out in the yard. I'm like, what the fuck is this, man? It's like security guard in the system, ready to fucking karate chop. It's my nephew. Now I got all the neighbors' dogs barking after me, yelling like that. Do you hear them?
No, not the dogs.
I got like 10 watchdogs and my neighbors going crazy, me doing my fucking antics.
So, Peyton, let me ask you real quick about, I don't want to skew off, but about what the hell is going on at Penn State?
I didn't want to bring that up either. Finish the season and deal with it all afterwards.
They're denying...
I have a feeling over the years that guy's been going to therapy. So yes, he did know about it, but he was already registered with the state in suspect enrollment. So that's what I think's going on.
Well, that's the problem because now you're talking about knowledge of the situation and that Joe Paterno may have had knowledge of the situation dating all the way back to 1998. And
98, it looks like he was in the clear of that. I think that's the key.
Well, they're saying at least 02 then. They're looking at 02.
My whole point is they could have had him in therapy, man.
Right, well, I should have been made public.
AA and NA and still do drugs and drink.
Yes.
Yes, I know this is much more serious, but it's not, as far as the scale and relevance, it's not, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
It's not far-fetched.
Well, because it involved, yes, child molesting is unfortunately, in the common's not the word, but Penn State in the last 14 years is not nearly the only place where this kind of stuff is going on, and that's unfortunate. And it's been made a big deal because it's Joe Paterno. He is the current, he's bigger than Bobby Bowden nationally.
A couple of years ago, young couples believed. This is the way we should look at it as people. A couple of years ago, people were believing that young people like our age buy a house, improve it, and sell it for twice the amount.
Right.
Well, we have a housing market problem. Now the thing is, get your son and daughter a scholarship in sports, spend the money on camps, they'll pay off later.
Right.
And you're sending them with, dude, God forbid someone puts their kid in a fucking super gay, artsy-fartsy instructor class.
Right.
They're scared of it. But it's the masculine, testosterone-driven sport guys who are turning up more, doing this shit.
Right. Well,
and that's the problem. We're putting too much. We gotta look at it like, we love sports. We're a sports-driven country. And we gotta realize, man, we can't just sit there and be idols of these fucking everyday human beings. They're just working for a paycheck too. And they're liable to things too. We have to look at it that way.
The other thing too is that, obviously it can happen anywhere, but it's for me. It's almost like with Plaxico Burress. It's him. He went to jail because he was so famous. You know what I mean? There's a lot more heinous action going on. We've got people.
Finish the season.
Well, I know that. I agree with you. I don't know about holding on to Paterno though, and if you're going to get rid of Paterno at the end of the year, you might as well get rid of him now. I know it's senior.
No, I don't believe in that. Why should these guys who went there to be coached by Paterno be deprived of being finished with Paterno in a class act? When these acts happen when they're 12 years old, now they're a full ride scholarship and they chose Penn State. Let them finish.
I can't argue against.
Was like they should cancel their season. No, dude. This happened when these guys were.
No, you don't cancel the season. No.
14 years old.
No, it's about Paterno. It's about Paterno. How deep do the resignations go? Or do you fire Paterno? And I think that.
My whole thing is let them finish the season.
I think that the university has a right, though, to terminate Paterno.
No, I don't think they have a right to. I think they're going to do it to public relations.
Right.
I think they should let them finish.
Well, we'll see what happens. I don't know. I've been glued to the TV over this for the last few hours. I can't keep my eyes off every time I try to do something, and it's a new person being interviewed. And
bottom line is,
Matt Millen was crying on SportsCenter. Did you see that?
What?
Matt Millen was crying on SportsCenter.
Who was?
Matt Millen.
Was he really? Really?
Yeah.
The Penn State guy?
Yeah, crying on SportsCenter.
He was coached by whatchamacallit.
He was coached by Paterno, right?
And no, the coach himself.
Yeah, we're talking about Millen played for Paterno.
He was coached during the Sandusky years.
Oh, right. Wow. I didn't even think about that. No, really? No.
So was he speaking,
Well, you never know how long this stuff is going on.
That's what people don't realize. Like, we're talking about firing a guy. You don't understand, like, there's a whole generation of guys who played under this guy. And are proud to be Penn State football.
Right. No, well, yeah.
Oh,
sure. You talk about, an average of 20 new guys a year or so. And you talk about the 43 years that Paterno's been coaching. That's almost 900 souls.
Do you know how many homes, these guys are married with kids now? And, now you got a wife who's got a husband who's very upset right now. Very, doesn't want to talk to anybody.
Well,
he's probably had Sandusky over his house.
How about Paterno's kid, too? He works for the for the team. But yeah, you're right. The other thing tells me this though. Here's the only other thing, and you're right though.
The guy Scott on the Buffalo Bills, who plays for the Buffalo Bills now, was the Sandusky's son's roommate.
This has such a broad reach, and that's what I'm saying. Let's just, say, and 20 people, 20 new guys a year might even be somewhat conservative. So let's just say.
12.
No. Yeah, but, so wait, so then all we're saying, though, Payne, is only about 500 different players have played for Paterno over the years? Maybe that's right. I would say.
Times 30. Yeah, dude. And then you got to figure some transfers. Just say 12. 12 is a safe number.
No, because a football team is made up by about, 50-something guys.
I would say it's 60.
No. But then you have the turnover, though. So players who stay for 4 years. I'll just say, okay, anywhere between 500 and 1,000 football players, have played for Paterno over the years. Now, all of them are reached. Touch is the wrong word. All of them are reached by this story. But, as you're bringing up, there's dozens of people in the NFL that probably knew about this before the story broke. Dozens of NFL players and current coaches probably knew about this before the story broke. How are those stories? I'm interested in what you think. Are those stories now going to come out? Are you going to hear NFL players talking about either knowledge of the situation? Is it possible that an NFL player was a victim of this.
You
And
understand, this guy, he was the defensive. You understand, Penn State fans for years. In fact, one of my roommates in Seattle, my last roommate in Seattle, and one of my sister's ex-boyfriends, when they talked about Penn State, they always mentioned this guy's name as a great defensive coordinator, and he's great. If he has a month to prepare for you, they're going to kick your ass in the balls. Like they gave the Oklahoma Wishbone a good fight, like the best fight I saw all year. Because like, don't stop Jimmy Holloway, you know?
right.
And except the Hurricane. But this guy did it. You know, he did a great job. It's just the Sooners had a great defense. And so you sit there, you watch this, you know, like, that's what he was known for. He was involved with some of the biggest victories in Penn State history, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? When they mentioned Paterno,
Well, so
like,
is...
like, okay, you know, Parcells and his defensive coordinator, Belichick. You know what I'm saying? It was that type of...
Well, and here's... That kind of leads me to...
Even the air, you know, all my life I was hearing this guy was the heir apparent from Penn State fans.
Right.
Up until the late 90s. And of course, it never happened.
Well, that does kind of, though, what you said earlier, leads me to my last question for you on this is it possible in the short term, I know it's possible in the long term, but is it possible now in the short term for the ignorant fan, for the fan who has, you know, no knowledge of, or not much of college football, but they might know who Joe Paterno is because Paterno transcends the sport, you know, as Bobby Bowden and Bear Bryant did. So people know Joe Paterno. They might know that, in other words, transcendence, at least in college football especially, they might know the name Joe Paterno, but not know that he's the Penn State football coach. They might think Joe Paterno Penn State, or they might think Joe Paterno football. They don't know everything, but you know what I mean? Joe Paterno is, and especially now is, bigger than the game of college football. Is it possible that the common fan now labels Paterno a statutory rapist? Is it possible that the uncommon fan, that he doesn't get mixed up in the term?
I can say anything. I'm not terribly concerned about that. But the bottom line is, man, you know.
But you know what I'm saying? 10 years from now, some girl might...
You want to hear something weird? One night I went with my cousin Phil, and he was sitting there telling me about, like, dude, I'm not the most hip guy with, like, media events sometimes, you know? And I really didn't pay attention to the Bart McInerney, except the fact that I remember I was at the house. I was painting a house, and my client was good friends with Bart's father. So it was very personal to him. And I just didn't know what to say. You know, I was like, I hope this is a misunderstanding. I hope this text message was a joke.
Right.
You know? But, you know, that's boom. So I had this, you know, I actually started reading about it because it told me details I never knew. I just thought it was a text messaging. So he told me about Alaska and Hawaii. Get the fuck out of here. So I looked it up on the internet, right? So I had this weird dream one night that Bart McInerney stood up and he was like in front of everyone. Everyone was giving him applause. It was obviously some great feat, like a championship, like a state championship, some type of great feat. And everyone was his biggest fan, but there was something dark and something big coming that was going to make him notorious. And it was like, I was like, wow. So here I am reading, you know, like about Tebow. And I remember I was like, oh, Tebow is a Christian. He's around kids. He won't, you know, I read. Yeah, I'm trying to find out who he's going to in practice, but I'm learning that he won't photograph with, only photograph with the kids alone.
Yeah, he's wacky like that, yeah.
So I'm thinking, oh my God, is my dream going to be like, I'm going to start Tebow this week, and he's going to be caught next week, you know? I go, fuck it.
No, it's not like that.
So I started him, you know?
His father, you know the story.
Since then, no, obviously nothing happened.
No, I know that.
Just broke Eddie Robinson's record.
Right, I know.
Just broke it. And when all this broke through, and I saw how Paterno was intertwined, because at first I was like, oh, they've been gone since '99. What's the big deal? Now I see this whole story was what my dream was about, because I was just reading about Bart McInerney, you know, for the first time. And all of a sudden, I had that weird dream. I was like, oh man, someone, it wasn't me, because I remember I was standing and applauding, you know, like,
right.
Yeah, you know? And I thought it was weird I'd be applauding by Bart McInerney in my dream, but all of a sudden, there's...
Oh, yeah. St. Rose, right. Right. Yeah, no, that's definitely a connection and an eerie one at that. It sucks, and it's like Matt Millen said. You gotta watch Matt Millen on Sports Center. It really hurts, and it's a situation that you know what you actually like. I feel motivated to try to do whatever I can to fix. I wish that I could separate Joe Paterno from the situation. However, I can't allow myself a you know an uninhibited appreciation for you know Joe Paterno because you never know. You never know what the hell, dude. You know what I mean?
I think this guy, I think the Penn State community knew this guy had issues, and they try to work with him.
Well, yeah, but they shouldn't have kept him around.
They should not allow him to have the kids thing. That's what's kind of weird.
Right. Well, I think they made a mistake in keeping around when Paterno learned of the situation, which sounds like he did know too. This and grand jury investigation.
Paterno didn't say run your day camps.
Now the other problem is this, though, Payne. The grand jury investigation began in 2009.
Yeah, so it's just surfacing now.
Right. Well, somebody leaked it. We don't know where that leak is, but somebody leaked the story. So my problem is,
Penn State's prepared. You kidding me? The Penn State University was prepared for this before we even heard. They knew it was coming. In fact, I read articles that even that Andrusky knew it was coming.
Well, yeah, and that's another problem too that I hate, Peyton, is now they're wasting resources, namely money, on damage control here. And it's a state school in tough economic times, and now they're going to be on the hook for millions of dollars in damage control here. They're going to be they already are. They've probably been consulting with lawyers for 2 years. So on that I don't like. When back in 02.
Bottom line is, let Joe finish, man.
What? 2 more games plus?
I think what I'm telling you is that they tried to make this work, and it just the way you got to look at it, the way I look at it is this guy relapsed. He relapsed.
I don't know enough specifics to comment on that one way or another.
I'm guaranteed. I'm going to guess that there is definitely some therapy and psychiatric confidential issues that can't be released.
Right. Well, the only way for the yes, and I agree with you because the only way for the university to appear anything but complicit in this situation is to have ordered, mandated, and sought that the therapy had been executed, to the fullest duration possible.
There's a big, in 2002, then there was a kid at practice in 2007, and a report in 2009. So, the thing they're going after Paterno for is 2007, him bringing a kid to practice. A closed practice. But Paterno, he's not at the gates letting people in.
Right.
But who they're going after are the guys who he came in with, like the guys who already resigned.
Well, the problem is this.
I wonder if those guys were that type too. That's what I'm starting to wonder.
Well, they've already, a lot of people are comparing this to and that's now what you're talking about is very much the Watergate scenario, and a lot of people are using that terminology. In your opinion, I don't really know much about Watergate. Neither one of us was, alive, right?
No, I wasn't.
But we didn't know enough at the time. But I feel that if Nixon knew about it and he didn't act on it, then he is wrong. He's complicit, and he rightfully resigned, even though he might have been a great president. If Paterno was complicit and not complicit, because he certainly wasn't. If the university was not complicit, yet they still didn't. They knew about it, yet they didn't order the guy off campus away from.
This guy is not. Paterno is not responsible talking to people who are lighting off atomic bombs. There's really no need to do damage control by a forced resignation, right? This is not a guy dealing with atomic bombs.
Well, Mike Francesa would disagree with you. I don't really have an opinion, Paint, but...
I don't agree with Mike Francesa on the lot. I think Mike Francesa is really stirring the pot. He lacks character in his show now. That's all he's got.
So he creates...
You let him finish, period. I think Joe Pa is being cooperative because he was aware, but he was also aware of the therapy.
Yes, I know. It's just in my... Right away, once you learn of something like that, it's... You either act on it...
The passes. It's the president and the athletic directors.
You know what, Payne? It's unfortunate, though. The whole in-house thing and all that stuff, because of information disclosure now, it doesn't exist anymore. The let's keep this in-house, you know what I mean? And now you're going to hear like a lot of like the Michael Jordan stuff, where, you know, there really is not much bad written about Michael Jordan because it was during a time when the NBA, you know, while not dying, Michael Jordan was one of its only cells, or one of its only solid cells. You and I don't necessarily want to believe that, but the NBA treated Michael that way, and there was a lot of things that Michael did badly between 1988 and 1988, you know, 1998.
Michael was young enough to make a comeback. Joe's not. Let him finish.
Well, this was even more towards, you know, the arc of Michael's career.
You're comparing a Martin McInerney situation that is as local to that part of Pennsylvania to Spring Lake Heights. Okay? I think they were well ahead of the Martin McInerney thing. I really think the guy was in some type of psychiatric health since 98. His resignation was for a reason in 99, obviously.
I wouldn't be surprised, Paint, but the university and Paterno are in a very tough position whenever it can be proven that they knew about it. And, you know, not to say that Francesa is God, but he makes up a good point, whereas, you know, saying that Paterno is one of those guys, I mean, who knows, you're right, maybe he's stirring it up, but Paterno's one of those guys that knew everything about what was going on in his university. So, you know, that's a tough thing.
And I think he was aware the guy was in therapy.
It sucks because I love Paterno. I grew up loving Penn State.
He was in therapy. He was stripped of his ability to ever become the head coach there because of what happened. And he went to therapy, but they let him.
Damn. Well, we're gonna obviously.
Beyond this guy, the state got involved because the town was not going to convict this guy.
Well, we're obviously going to have the opportunity to hear how this story plays out. You know, it's a shame, but and it's right. It spikes the middle of the NFL season too. You know, think about it, Peyton. In your lifetime, though.
Don't slight the liberal issue here.
As far as the Paterno.
Yeah. Sandusky was a god, too.
I don't know much about him.
Any Penn State fan I knew growing up, right up until my last roommate in Seattle, raved about Sandusky. This guy was Paterno was the figurehead. But this guy was a coordinator, assistant coach.
He was the Jim Caldwell, though.
What?
He was the Jim Caldwell. He was the guy in waiting. Right?
Yeah, he was the guy in waiting. And then he retired in 1999.
Yeah, I don't know this story. I don't know this story at all.
I mean, his first complaint was in 1998.
Yes.
He resigned in 1998. Now, he no longer coaches after 1999.
Okay.
So what do? He resigned after the bowl game, so that's January 1999. That's right after 1998. Days after. That's the things I'm starting to wonder. The not getting specific about that. So, he was supposed to be the coach. Now, he retires before Paterno. They granted him retirement plan, access to the gym and everything.
Right.
That's where they fucked.
Oh, that's major mistake.
Therapy after 1998.
Right. No, well, I would agree with you. How do you make...
They even paid off the lady back in 1998.
Well, there's nine victims. 9. The 9th just came forward today.
The first that was ever under investigation was 1998. They say it's from 1994. So obviously, he obviously got caught after he's been doing it for a while the first time. You know, dude, let Coach Joe Pa coach. The heads of the university really messed up.
Dude, the university is now... You understand that the NCAA, first of all, I would say has no sanction here. But the university itself has dealt itself its own death penalty. Recruits are not going to want to go there. They're going to lose. They're going to lose sponsors.
I disagree. I think there's so much tradition there.
The sponsors, Paint. No. Nike, Reebok.
I think people are going to want to go there.
Didn't Nike stop sponsoring Tiger Woods? No, not Nike. Tiger Woods owns Nike, but he had not Nike. He definitely lost sponsors. You know, whatever you call them now. What do you call those endorsements? Not Nike, but he lost endorsements. What about Penn State football? You don't.
Don't worry about it. I think it's
to what? Joe Paterno built that, and
recruiting. The NCAA has no right to take sanctions against.
No, I know that. I did, and I just said the NCAA has no sanction here. They're not going to lose scholarships. But if you look at tweets, if you've been watching, this is what fascinates me. I'm watching tweets of high schoolers, high school recruits, and they're on their Twitter now, and this is the information age. You'd never hear shit like this even 5 years ago, saying, oh, not going to Penn State.
Yeah, you wait to that kid. His best offer is wrong, okay? All right, 2 years from now, some 17-year-old from fucking Wall. Rutgers.
So now they're going to become the Miami of college football? Because that's what happened to Miami. And they became great.
Rape scandal there or nothing like that.
But you have to agree that that's what happened with Miami. They became badass in the early 90s. Fuck Miami, they're the worst. And they got all of the Ray Lewis, the Michael Barrow.
Yeah, but what they're going to get is a kid who are maybe not going to be the top recruits, right? But what they're going to get is this kid in Jersey.
They've been getting people in Jersey forever.
He's got Townsend State.
Yes.
He's got Delaware Blue Hen.
I cannot.
He's got Rutgers Scarlet Knights. He's going Rutgers. Oh, Penn State comes.
Right. Paint. Did you? I think you've met my cousin, the football player. He could have gone to Pitt, Iowa. He chose Rutgers. He's one unique case, and there's exceptions to every rule. I wish he had gone to Pitt.
I'm telling you right now, Penn State's going to be...
You think they're going to be okay? When is the next time...
With just the recruits from just inside Pennsylvania, they're going to be okay.
When is the next time, Paint?
5 generations of tradition. No one may send you from the fucking Penn State scholarship show.
Well, listen, beginning in August of 2012, beginning then, when is the next time that Penn State appears in a ranked position?
Well, see, I gotta see how many kids are returning from this team.
Well, I got this on video now, so think of an educated response. Because, in my opinion, it'll be August of 2015 at least before Penn State is ever ranked again. They'll maybe play in bowls. I just think they're
going to finish No, it all comes down to
Their entire coaching staff.
Paterno's not even been on the field. The entire
Okay.
coaching staff's not
The
going
rest of them are going to get wiped out, Paint.
They're not going to clean house.
Okay, well, we have a difference of opinion there, and that's fine. I think they're going to clean house. I think they have to clean house. Didn't the AD already resign?
Paterno, his timely retirement is enough house cleaning for the football program.
You don't think they're going to... Are players going to leave the school right now over this?
Hell no.
Not one player?
No.
I don't think you can say not one player, but...
Not one player.
I think that...
You're kidding me? They're ready to... They want Paterno.
I've seen the video. Yes, they're rallying around him. But he's not... He's gone, Paint. They might keep him one more week. Then that's it.
No, but that's all they care about. This game coming up might be the last. If Paterno coaches, they're going to treat every game like it's Paterno's last.
Win one for the Gipper.
In 2 weeks, everyone's going to be rooting for Paterno if they keep him. You don't understand.
I'm not saying I would. I'm not saying I won't. I love Paterno. I have this unbridled, enthusiasm for Joe Paterno.
People who are, like you just said, people at a bar who are playing football fans and are going to say attackful things. Someone who's been following football.
Like yourself.
Because he joined his first fantasy league 5 years ago. But he doesn't really know anything about college football. He never experienced watching someone from college finishing in the pros. Ray Lewis, Jesse Armstead. I'm watching Frank Gore now. I watched Michael Irvin in college finish. Now I saw Deion Sanders in college and give his halftime his Hall of Fame speech this past summer. You're going to deal with someone who doesn't have that background and going to attack Joe's character, where everyone just kind of.
All right. Paint, here's the thing, though. So you're like me.
When me and you go out drinking, there's a good chance we're sitting very close to someone who's very close with Bart McInerney. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Well, yes.
And when you're that close to that situation, then the people say it's a mental illness and it should be fixed. When you're a parent, you don't know it's a very, I don't know how to say it, man. Kevin Bacon, there's a movie I want to get. Kevin Bacon was in a movie about this topic. He was a sex offender, child molester, and he was released from prison. He go back as well. It's called The Woodsman.
Didn't see it.
It's not. There's this award for actors. It's like the best actor award for the most.
You know what? What's interesting?
Character. Like same year that Jamie Foxx was nominated for Red. He was nominated for this award because he played a guy who was a gangbanger and doing life, and all he was doing was speak teenagers and scared big pro. And people, a lot. I went to film school, and a lot of people, I could tell someone knows film. Anyone who saw this film in Ray just said this was the best performance.
Ray won Best Picture, right?
Yeah, but that same year this movie was released under the B-side. It was like his B-side.
Like the Bright Side? Or the Blind Side?
No, that's the Baltimore.
Yeah, I know.
This is a guy, Jamie Foxx was a gangbanger, and he got life in prison for killing someone in a gang fight, a gang hit. And so then he changed his calling to it's not to end up like him. And people say that this movie was fucking. And he got nominated. And that same year, Kevin Bacon was in a movie called The Woodsman.
I didn't see any.
This is like me and you just watching. As long as we were watching college football, Paterno was there, And this affected like 500 people's homes who played under this guy.
Right.
And then there's a whole war that didn't play under this guy, but were involved with Paterno. And saw this guy on campus.
Well, unfortunately, now you can educate thanks to things like the internet. You know, you can educate yourself on that kind of stuff, but unfortunately, you know, you're talking about, stuff that I'd have to research more to discuss.
No, that's what's going on. It's a culture thing. They hit it. They try to fix it as it went, and it just was an experiment that did not work.
Well,
let him finish.
Well, I tell you, man, I don't know. I think Penn State though has been dealt their own death penalty, and you disagree, and it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. That's all.
No, there's too much pride. These guys are going to stick together more than ever now.
I have pride as a person who rooted for Penn State. Penn State. You have to acknowledge that though, Paint. You have to acknowledge this though. What?
This is the first test.
What, this week? The Senior Bowl?
No, like this is these kids are going to play. And this is Penn State's football test of how.
I don't know, Payne. I think that if tomorrow
survive alone on third to fifth generation Penn State football players.
If tomorrow's press conference, if Paterno's gone, Paint, I mean, it almost makes our discussion irrelevant because now you're talking about a whole. I mean, personally, I think we can agree that Paterno's gone by, within 3 weeks anyway.
So they got a bowl game. Let them do the bowl game.
Oh, Paint, no way. No. They can't.
They can.
I don't see it.
I think Paterno will come to the sideline this weekend. That's what I'm thinking.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that. If he's allowed to coach.
Beaver Stadium is going to be packed.
I think the NCAA is.
The thing is, the Nebraska player, what are they thinking?
I think the NCAA is already pressuring Penn State to fire Joe Paterno.
Yeah, but you're the Nebraska players. They almost got to be somewhat kind of relaxed.
I think the Nebraska players. I think that the Nebraska players are as distracted as the Penn State players right now.
But they have no motivation. They're kind of like, you understand, Nebraska just joined the Big Ten. These kids have never played in Beaver Stadium. This is like, they've had this
Senior Bowl, no less.
We're going to move into Joe Pa, right?
Senior Bowl.
This is Joe Pa's last year. This is before the scandal. They're thinking, like, these kids are like 20 years old. I'm going to be playing in Joe Pa's last year.
Last game.
After practice, they got to be talking about the psychedelic effect of that event. Now this comes. I think Nebraska's fucking lambs to the slaughter if Penn State gets their head in gear.